It is the comment getting a lot of attention across the country. And because of it, Dallas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett could be censured for what she called Governor Greg Abbott. ION Politics reporter Jack Fink with how the governor is responding.
Y'all just pray for me, because who knows what I'm going to end up saying.
That's how Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett of Dallas began her speech Saturday before the Human Rights Campaign. Minutes later, she made the remarks that have made national headlines.
As we in these hot Texas streets, honey, y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot mess, honey.
How you doing?
Good.
You just have nothing left when you start talking like that on a microphone, and you are an African American descendant of slaves. You have a whole lot of other things you could be up there talking about. You could be up there reaching across the aisle to the Republicans who are in power and seeing if you could work out some opportunity to negotiate a position for your folks, us, instead of getting up there and doing what the Democrats want you to do, which is just cause havoc, just obstruct, just cause a mess up there, and in the process cause it to be more difficult for us regular black people out there in the street and in society than it has to be. When our government leaders, our members of Congress, are getting in front of audiences and on stage and speaking in some kind of jargon that is so unrealistic and fake, we all know that's not how you talk. And it's an exaggerated stereotype. And for you to be a black congresswoman and getting up there, that is not how you talk. And you shouldn't represent us that way, because you just invite racism. Most of the programs that I've listened to that are anti-Jasmine Crockett, they have racial connotations to it. They're saying little side comments that are dragging it toward racism. And you're not up there in any way being racist toward them. You're being racist toward us and inviting it. And it's making it more difficult to do what we need to be doing here, as opposed to what you're up there doing. Big old distraction, a big old issue over nothing. And all you need to do as a black congresswoman is get with your other black Congress folks and let them know, hey, Congressional Black Caucus, it's the time for us to strike. The Democratic Party ain't really got nothing going on right now. We ain't abandoning them, but we have a people that we have to represent, just like they're representing the folks out there they're representing. We got to represent them. We voted in office for that, not to be up there cracking jokes and clowning disabled people and then denying it. You're a lawyer. We know you're not stupid. You're a very intelligent person, and it's easy for you to say something as long as you don't mention too much, as long as you don't get too specific, you'll be fine. You can talk your way around it, but you got caught. And the most mature thing you could do, the most professional thing you could do, and the biggest act of leadership that you could do is just to admit to it, or at the very least, say, I'm apologizing if I offended anybody, but that was not my intent. This was my intent, which may not be the truth, which is kind of what you're doing, but you're accepting absolutely no responsibility for it, because the Democratic Party and our black congressional leaders are rolling like this now. And this is a wonderful opportunity for us to try something different. We're in the off season. We're not in power. Ain't nothing cracking. This will be a great opportunity for us to extend an opportunity to switch our vote over to Republicans if we can get Donald Trump to give us some things that we couldn't get out of our own party. We're whining and crying about more laws and bills. No, we need to be whining and crying about opportunities and money. And leave those bills alone. It's enough of those. People still getting killed in the street, and there's enough bills to cover all of that. And it's happening anyway. So we need to move on to another level of self-governance. And it has to be separate from the Democratic Party. We cannot continue to have Jasmine Crockett out here whining and crying and potentially about to get censored. They're going to go down that road. And Al Green, standing up and disrupting a session of the State of the Union with the president speaking, and they censored him. They ain't playing. When when the Wilson guy yelled liar, well, everybody remembers that when Obama, was it Joe Wilson? Yeah, when Obama was up there, everybody was like, ooh, I thought to myself, damn, I never heard nothing like that. I was thinking in my lifetime, that was some direct shit for a Congress, a seated member of Congress to open their mouth and call the president a liar in the middle of his speech. And Obama just took that. And the Democrats didn't circle the wagons and censor Joe Wilson or any of that kind of stuff. So it is some racism involved in that. It's kind of like a way of doing things in this country, the way we've always done things, and it's just so embedded that we don't expect anything different, and we accept what we shouldn't be accepting. We need to continue to resist. We need to continue to fight. And the only way we can do that is if we have leaders who are identifying that we do have an issue and a valid one, because we sound ridiculous out here when our leaders don't even mention anything about the civil rights of black people. They never do. They get up there and they start talking about someone's handicap in a comical way, or something else that has nothing to do with us. Al Green didn't get up saying, hey, stop police brutality. Well, he's up there waving that cane around. He could have been saying, stop police brutality. I'm not talking about any egg prices. I'm not talking about any of that other stuff. I want black men to stop dying at the hands of police in the United States. Pick a fight and stick to it. Make it simple. You don't have to be complicated. You don't have to be all over the place. And if they're trying to pull you in a direction that doesn't benefit you, the people who put you in office, then tell them decline kindly. There are sometimes you guys have to all get together and help each other out with votes and with different, but your every day when you get up in the morning till you go to bed at night, your fight is supposed to be for black people, and you get up there and you pretend that it is by thinking you're speaking to us, and some of us are offended by it. Some of us are laugh at it and kind of find it humorous. And then other folks of our color really listen to you and think you're really talking to us and really think that that's how you act and behave. And if that's the kind of crowd you're trying to attract, if that's the kind of person that you want listening to you, is someone who doesn't understand anything about politics, but you get up there and talk about the streets of Dallas being out in these hot ass streets, and it's just something that I'm embarrassed by, for us to have come all these generations, and for you to be up there with the opportunity to lead, with the opportunity to make change, and you're not making change. You're up there just giving us the same old, the Maxine Waters, Jim Clyburn stuff. We don't want it. We're really ready to move forward as a people, and we can only do that with the help of our leaders, or we're going to have to abandon them.
Governor Abbott responded in an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News Channel.
This is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate.
Republican Congressman Randy Weber from Texas's Gulf Coast filed a censure resolution against Crockett Wednesday. And Weber posted on X, quote, "She must be censured and held accountable for the venomous rhetoric she spews as a representative of the Democratic Party."
The Republicans don't play that. I mean, with AOC, with any of them, Rashida Tlaib, when any of them step out of line, little Omar, Ilhan Omar, they own them. They're like, no, just knock it off. What are you? And the other thing that I do like about some of those folks is that they really do have a constituency, or they really do have a base that they are really out there primarily fighting for, and they do lend themselves to other stuff. But Jasmine Crockett right now is beginning to be almost identical to like what Maxine Waters and Jim Clyburn. They'd rather take that step up and be on the national level just basically working at the behest of the Democratic Party, as opposed to taking it back down to their local or regional level and really making a change and really helping the folks that look like they look.
In a posting on X Tuesday, Crockett said, quote, "I wasn't thinking about the governor's condition. I was thinking about the planes, trains, and automobiles he used to transfer migrants into communities led by black mayors."
That's a great little answer if you got a lot of people who like you and support that shit. But if somebody wants to be honest with you, or if you have friends who are just going to be like, man, you know what, Jasmine, you shouldn't even come out like that. That's disrespectful. And even people who support you are going to be a little bothered by what you said and how you're responding to it. Just say, you know what, I shouldn't have said that. I was, speaking off the top of my head. I said something that probably could have been misunderstood, and I apologize if I offended anybody. That goes a long way, and I still look at that as bullshit. But it does go a long way with a lot of people. But I think that's not genuine apologies. That's what politicians do. It's the norm, and at least if you could rise to the level of what the norm is and just do that, it'd be better than just playing it off like you didn't do nothing wrong and not willing to accept the responsibility that even inadvertently sometime we can be wrong. Sometime.
Deliberately stoking tension and fear among the most vulnerable. Matt Engel is a Democratic political consultant.
I don't think it ever helps to call people names and to be personal. And again, I don't think that she meant to be malicious. Again, she's smart. She thinks quickly. And my guess is that I haven't talked to her, but my guess is that if she could take it back, she would.
Then she would have. And she didn't. If she could take it back, all she had to do, I mean, there's no way to realistically take it back, but she could be up there not going further with it or not teasing, what she meant. She could just be real point blank clear and say, I'd like to take that back and apologize to anybody who I may have offended and move on from this. And I had no idea, I think he's a great governor and all of that. I disagree with his views professionally. But other than that, he shows a lot of perseverance. He's had long career and positive history and helpful in the country. And I apologize. He has a lot of people, and he is the governor of Texas, the state that you're in. You would think that you wouldn't want to be over there offending half of the population of the state of Texas that probably support him or close to it. And you're just going to get up and say stuff like that. Like your popularity is higher than the governor's. You should run for governor then. But you should still not be that disrespectful. And you should also just lend that voice to the fight that we need to be fighting, that we could be fighting, and that you can go down and be known for being censored for fighting for your people, as opposed to being censored for just fighting.
The most disappointing thing to me, though, is that it really distracted from the most important thing about Greg Abbott, and that is that he's a terrible governor.
Put a nasty personal attack against one of the most popular governors in Texas history.
Conservative political consultant Matt Makoviak says Congresswoman Crockett's remarks have hurt her politically.
It's fine to have policy disagreements. It's fine to at times use over-the-top language if you're trying to get people's attention, but these sort of nasty personal attacks against people, particularly when someone's disabled, really is beyond the pale. And that's why I think you're going to see pressure continue to be applied, I think, to this particular member of Congress.
Congresswoman Crockett's office didn't return my request for a comment to the censure resolution. Also of note today, Senator John Cornyn launched his 2026 re-election bid, and it comes as Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton considers running against Cornyn in the Republican primary.
Yeah, Jasmine Crockett's going to have to really, really tone it down. And I don't think she's capable of it. She's got a little taste of the popularity. She's got the Breakfast Club and these really highly rated YouTube channels and social media type shows, podcasts pulling her in, begging for interviews, and she's obliging them. And then she's going on network TV and network cable, and she's all over the place. And I really do believe that she likes the attention. She likes the notoriety and the fame. She is just a congresswoman from Texas. Not that that's a low position or nothing, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things, she's just a congresswoman from Texas. And she is being spoken about more than 95% of the senators. I mean, you only hear about Mitch McConnell and those guys, the big names, often and a lot. And not even right now, because they're all just chilling because Donald Trump is driving the bus, and it's very quiet over there on the Republican side. And I hope I said Republican earlier. Quiet on the Republican side. And she's just out there trying to pick a fight and get somebody to do something that match that energy. And it's not getting anybody anywhere. We're very early in this guy's presidency. And I don't think we should just coast 4 years and not ask or expect anything. As black people, I'm going to say that almost every time I open there is no way we can just accept the fact that Donald Trump's in and he don't like black people and he racist. And all they're trying to do is accentuate all of the racist things or things that could be even construed as being racist and attributing to him and how much he hate us so that we'll do what? Not make a deal, not talk to him, not communicate, not have a relationship with the Republican Party. And that's the dumbest thing we can do. Everyone else who is not a Republican or a Democrat has a relationship with both parties, except black people. Hispanics are not exclusive to any party. We all know this. White people are not exclusive to one party. We are exclusive to the Democrats. That 15% of us that are either independents or who knows, don't vote, don't participate or whatever, is almost insignificant when 85% solid is really higher than that. But I'm being generous, 85% solid they can count on. Absolutely no way. No way. And then we get this. She's not up there even speaking on our behalf, not giving a public service announcement out in the middle of her speech while she's up there doing stand-up. She got time for stand-up, and we got real issues. And they're telling us how difficult things are about to get, how much we're going to suffer from Trump's policies. And they're not doing nothing about it but up here doing one-liners against a disabled governor. Very disappointed in her for that. We can do better, and we should expect more. Please like, comment, share, and we'll see you on the next Black Popcorn. If you made it this far, then hopefully you enjoyed the video. I really would appreciate and do appreciate the support. Hit the subscribe button, and thank you for being a part of the Black Popcorn community.